I'm Chance Merlin, and I'm here to talk with Tim Merlin about networking today. What do you do for a living?
I'm a businessman slash entrepreneur, um, and my main job is I represent myself in the steel industry, and I represent three or four different companies that manufacture steel mill equipment. We also own an Italian restaurant and pub, and we also own a fitness center. So we do a little bit of everything.
As far as acquiring customers to buy from you for your sales, what do you believe is the most important trait to have?
Well, that question is really more related to the steel industry sales, and I believe there's several things. One would be the customer needs to be able to trust your abilities, trust your knowledge of the equipment. Um, they also need to get a good feel for your character. Um, they need to know that you're going to be able to help them and increase the life of their product, support their needs. These days, a lot of the old timers in the steel industry are retiring, and there are a lot of younger engineers moving into those positions that do not really have the experience. So, somebody in my position really needs to have the knowledge of what the equipment does and better ways to repair it to be able to support the younger generation moving into um, these positions in the steel industry.
How important are relationships and knowing people in business and your profession specifically?
Well, relationships are really the key to everything. You have to become their friends. You have to become part of their family. They have to believe in your character. Um, Most of my clients I spend a lot of time with, whether we're just going to a ball game, whether we're going to dinner, whether we're going golfing, and there's a lot of times we don't even talk about business. It's about family and friendships and getting to know each other and what we like and what we dislike. And once you can, for a lack of better terms, reel them in as your friend, um, they begin to have a very good feel for the type of person you are, and they want to do business with them. Most of my customers are really now my true friends. I talk to a lot of them on a daily basis. We do a lot of things together where I don't necessarily have to pay for everything as part of the business. Their families come along. So yeah, creating that relationship is the number one key aspect in any type of business that you have. Because without that, if a customer doesn't like you, regardless of what business it is, it's not a good situation for you. They they won't come back. They will tell friends. They will tell colleagues. Eventually, your business will not survive.
Okay, as far as your restaurant goes, how do you go about advertising for your products or trying to get people to book event rooms or informing about holiday specials?
Well, there's several different ways. Social media has become the leading um, way of getting your restaurant out there and what your specials are, and the availability of the rental room that we have. Twitter is another one. We don't really use Twitter, although we're going to uh, move into that direction. We have television commercials that we run based on certain times of years, and we now have we're now planning for the NFL to start hopefully in August, September. So we'll put together some sort of package or commercial for that to start driving business in for football games. Um, we run specific ads in local newspapers. We'll give some discounts to help support that. So there are many ways. One of our biggest is Facebook. We've hired a company that we work with directly. We provide them the information that we want put out there, and they create the ads for us. So there's an abundance of different ways that you can get more customers to come through the doors. Other ways are simply internal. Um, you can offer free desserts or free appetizers, or give them a, hey, here's a $2 coupon, come on back for the next time. You want to do everything you can to drive them back into the door or into the restaurant. So and the other key thing is friendliness, having a clean restaurant. Those things alone could keep people coming back, along with good food. So many ways to get people to know your restaurant and come back to support you. Other things that we do is we support the community. Um, we support the wrestling programs, the soccer programs, the baseball programs. We're constantly donating to support those, and they actually come and book our event room for a lot of their meetings. So yeah, we try to look at many different avenues to get people back into our restaurant, or know what our restaurant is doing and what kind of food we have.
So as far as like the management side goes, as running your own restaurant, what do you believe is one of the most important characteristics?
Uh, I think we've touched base on a little bit of all of that, right? Your character. Um, they have to be able to trust you. We have a bunch of locals that come in all the time, right? You always want to go up and talk to them and see how their day is going, make them feel like you're interested in them, you know, and that's just part of being in sales. Even though we own a restaurant, we're in sales, right? It's basically the same thing of what I do in the steel industry and at the gym. We want people to know that we are very good people. We come from good families. We have good families, and we do everything we can to make them comfortable when we're dealing with them. So I think that is probably the most important thing, is to get the customer to really respect you as a person.
All right, throughout this crisis going on right now, what have you done to stay in touch with your contacts as far as the sales industry and the steel industry goes, and then what have you guys done to keep your sales up for the restaurant as well?
Well, in the in the steel industry, we talk weekly. Even if I don't have anything to talk about business, I'm just calling to make sure that they're safe and healthy, their families are safe and healthy. The steel mills right now will not let anybody in unless it's absolutely necessary. So we do have to communicate by email and by phone, but it's just keeping in touch with them, whether you're talking about business or not, is really key to getting through this entire COVID situation. Um, the gym, unfortunately, we had to close that for the time being. So, we battle rent and utilities, when we have no revenue coming in. But we'll make it. We'll figure out ways to make it work with the leaseor to try and prorate rents, and keep the utilities as low as possible. At the restaurant, fortunately, we're still allowed to be open, but we're only doing carry out at this time. So we have decreased staff substantially. The community has really supported us. Um, we are doing a very nice carry out. It's a little bit different for us, so we had to adapt. Um, we ran into long wait times because it's a little bit more different than coming in and sitting down and being able to wait to your for your food, other than having an onslaught of 10 or 15 orders all coming in to pick up at the same time. So we've adapted. We've adapted well. We've gotten our wait times from an hour down to 15, 20 minutes. So you have to be able to, you know, watch what you're doing, see what's taking up time, and be able to adapt for those situations. Um, we're we're happy right now that we're not making money, but it's not costing anything for us to run the restaurant. If I close the restaurant at this time, we're more than likely would cost us probably 10 times what it's costing us right now. So it cost us minimal to keep it open, but it would cost us a lot to close the doors. So we're taking advantage of the time right now. We're cleaning and sanitizing the restaurant. Not that we didn't do that in the past, but we're 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 doing more um, to get the restaurant even cleaner and to prepare for when we open up in the future, because the restaurant business is going to be different. Um, you know, the food still needs to be good, but people are going to be looking at how clean are you and what are you doing to keep me safe. So there's a lot of things that go on, um, you know, right now in this situation. But you know, we're taking advantage of the time and getting the restaurant cleaned up and painted and updating some things that we need to update and fixing maintenance things like that. So it's a good time for us, but you know, we're ready to get back up and running.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.